Hello boys and girls, and welcome to my preview and predicted lineup for Arsenal's game against Leicester City tomorrow. No sooner have we just completed one game and it feels like we have not even finished talking about it. We're straight into another game and it's another massive game. And we actually get to go back to the Emirates again for the second time. A lot of people, probably haven't really realised that we've played 6 games since the restart and 5 of them have been away. And I don't care who you are, that's tough. 5 away games out of 6. The way the fixtures have fallen has just not been kind to us, but we're getting the job done. 3 Premier League wins in a row, 3 clean sheets, brilliant victory against Wolves. And we now need to follow this one up against Leicester, another side that's above us in the table. Now, a few weeks back, you were looking at Leicester in the table and you're thinking third. They're guaranteed Champions League football. We're a million miles away from them. But we're not that far when you're looking at the Premier League table. We win against Leicester tomorrow. We go 6 points behind them. Have a look at Leicester's fixtures for the remainder of the season. You say that ours are quite tough. Well, so are theirs. And you've got to look at their form as well. And you've got to say to yourself that they could well drop out of that top 4. And we could well end up fighting them for that 5th place. And of course, we will find out next week whether that 5th place is a Champions League spot or not. Because if Manchester City's ban is upheld, then it is. And I feel that Chelsea and Manchester United can take that 3rd and 4th place and it'll be Leicester that drop out. And then it could be between the likes of Leicester, Wolves and Arsenal to try and take 5th spot. And like I said, we get this victory. We're 6 points behind them. And it's as simple as that, really. Chelsea, they're only 1 point behind Leicester. Manchester United, they're only 3 points behind Leicester. So again, for the second game in a row, Manchester United fans will be Arsenal fans. Yeah, you're not quick to criticise us now. You were praising us at the weekend when we beat Wolves, didn't you? But yeah, we're doing everything right at the moment. And like I said, you're looking at Leicester's form since January. They played 12 games. They've only won 3 games. They've drawn 4 and they've lost 5. They've scored 13 goals but conceded 10 in that time. So even before we went into lockdown and since we've came out of lockdown, Leicester have not been in a good run of form. They won at the weekend. Very convincing victory against Crystal Palace 3-0. And Jamie Vardy scored a couple of goals. But you can't take that as, some kind of guide as to their form. You've got to look at the bigger picture. And the bigger picture is they're not in good form. They've got a lot to fight for, of course. They want to hold on to that Champions League place and they're going to come to the Emirates, with confidence and, the belief that they can win the game. But historically, our record at the Emirates against Leicester is really, really good. So I'm hoping that stands us in good stead for the game because we need 3 points. We lose to Leicester, we can write off any chance of an outside possibility of catching a Champions League place. As crazy as that might seem, because we're still a million miles away. But we've just got to keep winning. The same as before the Wolves game. We got a run of 4 games with Wolves, Leicester, Spurs, and then Liverpool. And I said that Wolves was going to be the toughest. But the only way you can follow up such a great performance is by getting a victory. A draw's not even good enough. It's as simple as that. Draws have been our biggest downfall this season because Leicester have actually lost more games than Arsenal this season. Manchester City have lost more games than Arsenal this season. We've lost 8. Leicester, Manchester City, 9. Crazy. Chelsea have lost 10 this season. 10. Manchester United have lost 8 as well. Wolves have lost less than all of us. That is insane. It's the draws. 13 draws from Arsenal. That's been the killer for us this season. You take about 4 or 5 those away and turn them into victories, and you're sitting comfortably in a Champions League place. Fine margins, and we can't afford any errors at the moment. A victory only will do. And it's as simple as that. Now, in terms of the lineup, I think this is going to be very interesting. We're playing a lot of games thick and fast. And I know some people might say they want to play this player here, there and whatnot. But you've got to think logically. You've got to think about the games that we've had, in recent weeks. And how fast they're coming, players coming back from injury. And the fact that we've got the North London derby on Sunday against Spurs. If you're going to weigh up the two games, you've got to look at this with home advantage and say we can maybe have a few tweaks with Sunday's game in mind. But we've still got to put out a real strong lineup against Leicester. Don't get me wrong. We're not talking wholesale changes like the FA Cup with 7-8 players and whatnot. Like just the odd one or two. That's what I'm talking about. But with that said, let's go and get into the predicted lineup. Starting off in goal, Emi Martinez. And justifying his selection in the team. He's been absolutely immense since he's came in. And, the biggest credit that you can give Emi Martinez is the fact that we're not missing Leno at the moment. And another big performance is needed from him. 3 Premier League clean sheets in a row. Let's try and make it 4. Now, we're going to go with a back 3 because I will stick with that formation that Mikel Arteta seems to have found that works with us, and that's the 3-4-3. And the first in there, I'm going to go with Mustafi, and I thought it was a decent performance against Wolves. Very commanding in parts. There's a few moments where he, gets me on the edge of my seat and I'm a little bit worried. But overall, decent. And I'd actually play him there and I ain't got no problems with that at all. So the first one would be Mustafi. Next up, we're going to go with David Luiz. And again, he's done all right. And I think that, in the back 3, he actually suits that and he actually looks better as a player. So I have no doubts about it. And I'm going to go with David Luiz in there. Alongside him, I'm going to go with Rob Holding. I'm going to bring Kolasinac out for this game based on the fact that he's played a lot of minutes lately. And he has always had an injury problem. He's always been one of these players that picks up knocks here and there. So I'd like to give him a little breather from this game before the North London derby on Sunday. He's played a lot of football and been heavily involved. And after that game against Wolves and such a short turnaround before this game, I'll give him the breather and I'll go with Rob Holding. But he needs to be switched on and he needs to put the kind of performance in that he did against Southampton. And that's what I would go with as my back 3. Now with the wing backs on the right hand side, I will go with Cedric again. Tough call. Thinking about Ainsley Maitland-Niles, but Cedric, he needs more minutes. Started to tire after around 65, 70. So getting another hour to 70 minutes will do him good, especially with the game against Spurs at the weekend. So that's what I would go with. Now, in the left wing back position, I'm actually going to go with a young lad, Saka. I'm going to bring Kieran Tierney out for this game. Absolutely knackered when he came off against Wolves, doing the job. And again, this is a player that's had injury problems. And we need to be cautious and careful at the same time. So let him have a breather in this one because he would definitely start for me against Spurs. Absolutely no question. So I'd bring Saka across into that left wing back role. Again, you could have probably looked at Maitland-Niles given his performance in that position against Wolves. But I think that he was brought on to do a certain job and it was not more of an attacking threat. So that's why I would go with Saka in this position because I think attack-wise, no problems at all. In the middle, the two, first of all, Granit Xhaka, and you see how important he is. First 2 games that he's not involved or he's on the pitch, we lose, he comes back and we start winning. It's no coincidence. He's very, very important to the way we play and the team. So that's what I'm going to go with, Granit Xhaka. Now, alongside him, I'm going to go with Lucas Torreira. I'm going to bring Dani Ceballos out again. Just a simple fact, I want to give him a bit of a breather. He's played a lot of football and he's been very, very all action, very energetic. And I just feel that, maybe a little rest. And the fact that Lucas Torreira's come back, came on against Wolves, I thought he was doing really well with Xhaka. He gave Xhaka a little bit more license to get further forward. where Lucas does the protecting side of things. And I feel that those two work so well together. So no doubt for me. And I don't think it's any more of a weakness by bringing Sokratis out and putting Torreira in there. So that's what I will go with. Now the attacking three. First of all, on the right-hand side, I'm going to bring in Nicola Pepe. Now he should be absolutely raring to go. Of course, he missed the game against Wolves because his wife went into labour. And, you know, his baby is now here. So he can get back to playing football and get himself up to speed before that game on Sunday. He's had a nice breather because he had a rest against Norwich. And was only brought on late in that game, probably with the Wolves game in mind. But then he's had an extra rest because obviously his wife went into labour, like I said. So no question, no doubts. And that's what I'm going to go with for this game. On the left of that three, I'm going to go with Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang. And his work rate, the way he pulls off the shoulder, everything he's been doing in recent weeks is absolutely brilliant. If we can announce his new contract before this game, it'd be even better. Most definitely be better if we can announce it before Spurs. What a weight off everyone's shoulders that would be. But no question, absolutely no doubt, he will go on the left of that three. In the middle, I'm going to go with Alexandre Lacazette. I felt that his performance when he came on against Wolves was really good. And as well as Eddie Nketiah's doing, Lacazette is just that more clinical and that more experienced, in my opinion. And getting the goal he did and the way he did should hopefully give Laka that confidence that he needed big time, because he did need it. The touch, the finish, that was not of a man who's struggling for form. And that shows what he can do. And I think that attacking three could and should cause Leicester all kinds of problems. Pepe, Lacazette, Aubameyang. That's a really, really good front three. So yeah, that's what I am going to go with. And that is my predicted lineup. Now, as usual, let me know in the comment section what you think about that lineup. Would you change anything? Please remember, like I said in my last video, it's very evident now that Mikel Arteta is sticking with this 3-4-3 formation. So if you're going to change any of the personnel, make sure they fit that system. And it's not square pegs, round holes or anything like that. They all can go in and do the job and there's no weaknesses. So there's a few changes in there. Like I said, there's 3 changes really. I suppose 4 if you're counting, you know, Nketiah coming out. But you look at what's going in there. I don't think there's any weaknesses, to be honest with you. Saka going in place of Tierney and Rob Holding instead of Kolasinac. Torreira instead of Sokratis and Lacazette instead of Eddie Nketiah. So I actually don't mind that at all. I think that's a very, very strong lineup, given the fact that we do have one eye on Spurs at the weekend. But let's not take our eye off this game. Let's be fully focused and ready, because Leicester, despite their recent slump and not great form, they're third in the league for a reason. They're a decent side, and we're going to have to watch the likes of Jamie Vardy. Most definitely going to have to watch the likes of him. So yeah, listen, what will be, and hopefully we can get those 3 points and keep climbing up that table and putting the pressure on those sides in front of us. And we've got to rely on some slip-ups, and what will be. If we keep doing our job, then we'll see whether any of them slip up. So of course you can catch me on the AFTV watch along for the game itself, and then the following day I will be back for the player rating. So if you're new around here, make sure you do hit that subscribe button, make sure you smash a like on this video, and I will see you lot soon. I'm out of here.